how do young people actually make money on social media, right? Because they're driving around the Lambos, they're in Dubai, they're in Thailand, they're in all these lovely places. They don't seem to work. They have these big accounts maybe, but how are they actually making the money? How does it work, right? That's what you want to know. That's why you clicked on this video. And that's exactly what I'm going to tell you. I myself have made millions on social media from being an influencer, but also building businesses on the back end. Now, I wouldn't consider myself too young. I'm 34 years old. I've been doing social media for about 5 years. Before that, I was an acrobat. Right now, I'm actually staying with someone who's 24 years old. He started 8 months ago and he made 45 grand last month. So I think I'm pretty well equipped to answer the question as to how people actually make money on social media, right? So first of all, building some sort of influence, because influence is the currency that is key in the economy right now. I think it's probably going to be one of the biggest currencies in the world for a long time. And I really do think that everyone should start right now to try and build their brands. I think a personal brand on the internet is going to be like gold dust, right? And it's the easiest it's ever been to blow up. And that doesn't mean you will blow up. That doesn't mean anyone will be able to do it, because it takes a lot of hard work. But right now, the tools are there to make it the easiest. We have AI to help with scripts, to help with ideas, to help with thumbnails. We have so many different things right at our fingertips. It's cheaper and easier than ever. Now, how do these social media influencers actually make money? The guys on TikToks doing dances, the ones who are driving the Lambos in Dubai, and everyone in between, right? So first of all, we have monetization of views. So quite literally, you get paid for the views. On YouTube, it can be very healthy depending on your niche. If you're in financial niches, it can be, I've seen upwards of $6, $10, $12 per 1,000 views. But you could also have the other side of the coin where, you know, people might start and they realize that their, I think it's RPM it's called on YouTube, is much lower than they expected. Maybe a few cents per 1,000 views. That sort of content where it's like really influencery content, you know, like a mass market content, millions of views, it might be really low. You have that on YouTube, you have that on TikTok. I don't think you have that on Instagram. I don't have it anyway. I have about 50,000 followers or whatever you call them on Instagram. And I don't get paid for views. In fact, I don't get paid for views right now from anywhere because YouTube actually demonetized me, which is awesome. But that's one way, right? Actually getting paid for the views. Now, the second way, this is big on TikTok right now. This is something that I would suggest that everyone tries. You don't need to be able to talk on camera. You don't need to be a big influencer. You don't need to be any of that. TikTok Shop. And TikTok Shop is being pushed out by TikTok. So anyone who tries to do it will be helped by the algorithm. Now, that's basically selling a product, right? So that can be your own product. It can be something that you review, or it can be an affiliate link to someone else's TikTok Shop. So you can make viral content, and even though you won't get paid a lot for the views, you can make a lot if you convince people to buy. So this could be as simple as, you know, I've seen this video of this frog, and it's like a blow up frog, and it's Pepe the frog, right? And it's sad. And it's like me without you is the tagline. It's just this sad frog toy, plush toy, sitting on a swing or sitting wherever and doing different things that end up being viral. And I'm not sure if that links to a TikTok Shop, but if someone did it, I think it would make a lot of money. Now, the reason why I think I can understand how these things work is because I started in e-com. That's the first step that I made towards making all this money online. And it took me 10 years to save £100,000. And then it took me 1 year to make £100,000 on e-com, which is incredible, right? So that's another way. You got e-commerce. Now, another way is private communities. Now, these communities can be filled with so many different things, but it can cross every niche. And it can be as simple as direct contact with the influencer themselves. So there's a platform. It isn't so big anymore, but it's called Patreon. And this is a way that you can support creators. So you support these creators through the platform Patreon, and then they provide you with certain things. That might be direct access. That might be special giveaways, special merch, special ebooks, PDFs, whatever it is, right? Special meetups in person. Now, to build on that, build on the community, you also have mentorships. So where people will mentor you to become XYZ. For example, given the whole subject of this video, someone could mentor you to grow on social media, could mentor you to start an e-commerce brand, could mentor you on so many different things on the internet, right? And that would be a mentorship. You'd pay them a couple of $100, a couple of $1,000, upwards of $10,000. I've seen massive, these are called high ticket mentorship programs, right? And to be honest, a lot of people think that these things are scams, but I would argue that they're not, as long as they are actually providing the value. If you pay someone $10,000, normally it would span over, the course of 6 months, and they would teach you how to do XYZ. Now, if you don't get the results, does that make it a scam? No. But if you buy something, you put in the work, you do what this person's saying, a lot of the time, it can be very beneficial. The guy who's living with me right now, that's what he does. Right? He provides mentorship. And he has students that are making $20,000 a month, which is incredible, right? So you got the mentorship, you have the courses. There's platforms like Patreon I mentioned. There's also School, SKOOL. And then there's also WOP, which is a new one. WOP is actually where I've launched one of my communities recently. It's not live yet, but I like the platform. Now, we've talked about communities. We've talked about selling things like merch and things like that. And we've spoken about monetization of the views. Now, another thing that has seemed to have been forgotten recently is affiliates. Now, that's very similar to, like I said, promoting someone else's TikTok shop. So you basically have a link, right? Now, if you're, for example, a creator on YouTube who explains how to build studios for YouTube, you know, or explains the best cameras, the best phones, the best XYZ, they all tend to have links in their description. Go and check your favorite creator that you watch for the new iPhone or whatever. Check their links in the description. They'll probably have affiliate links to Amazon, for example, where you can buy the iPhone, or you can buy the camera they're talking about, the tripod, or yada, yada, yada. And how an affiliate works is the creator gets a cut of the sale. Normally a couple of percent, maybe 10, 20, 30%, depending on how good the deal is. And that's a really good way to generate income from creating content of things that you already love. Now, I've explained pretty much all of the ways that I make money directly from my social media. And I also facilitate the deals for other influencers, because I understand one of my biggest drawbacks, one of my biggest regrets, you could say, is that I didn't know what I was doing soon enough. So I left a lot of money on the table only because I didn't know the opportunity existed. So because I get a lot of deals through my normal social media, I create an agency, and that agency helps other creators get their deals and get the affiliate links and all of that. So I created like a different vertical in the space, and I want to build as many businesses around this influence as I can. Now, one of the best things that happens when you become an influencer or you start creating a social media account is not knowing. And I didn't know what would happen. I had no idea I would build an agency. I had no idea what would come after that. No idea at all. And it all came from doing it. So in this video, what I want you to take away from it is there's a lot of ways to make money, right? There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. But what you need to do is you need to start. And you might be asking, well, I don't know what to talk about. Talk about whatever it is that you enjoy right now. And even if that doesn't get any views, you'll learn how to talk like I am. Because it's a skill in itself to be able to talk on the phone or on your camera like this, like someone's there when no one's there. It's super awkward. So that's a skill that you'll need to develop. So start now. That's the most important thing. Get it done. Make a video every single day. whether it's you holding your phone, whether it's you filming, whether it's you reading a script. Before you employ a team that does the editing, that does the thumbnails, that does all of that, do it yourself. Learn everything, because that way you can give that to the people that work for you, rather than having them hold all the cards. Because if they do all the editing and they do all the thumbnails, you don't hold all the cards. All right, so that's what I suggest. And if you do want to learn more, just hit that subscribe button, and there's a form down there, and I will be launching something of my own. Maybe it's a mentorship, maybe it's just a community for us to talk to each other. But when that launches, you guys will be the first to know if you fill that form out. With that said, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.